This means if I go to do an exercise, say I'm going to do a tricep kickback, okay? So I'm gonna grab a weight here, all right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to kick that up, all right? Now you may use a bench, right? You might be on a bench when you do this, and I'm going to kick that up and straighten that. Now that's isolating that tricep. Now, is it horrible to do? Not necessarily. It depends on how often you're doing it and why you're doing it, right? If you're in a bodybuilding competition, you want to isolate those muscles so that you get all those striations and you're doing lots of crazy things to your body so that you can win a competition. But my point is, it's not really functional. I mean, when in life do you ever really do that motion? When am I going to bend over, pick something up like this, and then do that, right? That really isn't going to happen. It's not a real functional motion. And so what we need to do is we need to understand, okay, what would be functional? So a great way to train the triceps might be this one, where you come down here and you push, because that would be similar to getting out of a chair and pushing up, right? Doing something that is functional, okay? Now, obviously, if you have really strong, if you've got good glutes, you don't need your arms to stand up. You can just stand right up. But if you really want to get those arms a little bit stronger, that would be a more functional thing. So let's talk about why you don't want to isolate. When you isolate a muscle, which is impossible to do physiologically, by the way, and I'll explain that in a moment. When you isolate a muscle, you are kind of taking away any other body area's job or task, which is to help accomplish that motion. So, for instance, if I go to pick something up, I'll show you easily using my bicep, right? So say I go to pick up this chair. Now watch what I do. If I'm going to pick up this chair, I'm just going to bend over and I'm going to pick it up. Now, did you see that I used my whole body, right? I used my legs, I put one foot forward, I pushed off the floor, I straightened my legs, you know, but when it's down here, right, I'm using glutes, I'm pushing through the floor, I'm using my whole body to pick that up. Now, if I was to isolate my biceps, it would be, okay, I've got to keep my elbows in, I can't use anything else, I have to do this just to use my biceps, right? Well, that's not what we do in real life. And our body isn't designed to do that. Our body is designed to work as a whole. Everything's connected to everything else. So you really need to be using your whole body when you're doing things. There are ways to work your body, which is what this Move Without Pain training is all about. There are ways to focus on certain body areas, but you're not isolating them. You're focusing on them, but the rest of the body is still involved. So basically, you're using the whole body, right? So if you isolate, you're going to get those tendons very annoyed. A lot of people will isolate exercises for their shoulders, and look at the prevalence of rotator cuff issues that we have in our world. Oh my goodness, it's probably one of the most common surgeries when it comes to orthopedic surgeries. And if everybody was, if everybody's doing all these isolated exercises to strengthen the rotator cuff, why are there so many issues with rotator cuff, right?